Welcome back to Close Up. Efforts to legalize cannabis in New Hampshire have been stuck for a while now. As we noted in our discussion with the Speaker, the House has broken through and now regularly backs legalization bills in bipartisan votes. The Senate has not been as open to the idea, and Governor Chris Sununu has also been more of a skeptic on the issue. Now there's someone working in a new position to win over hearts and minds on this issue. Former State Rep Timothy Egan, who is now the chair of the Board of Advisors to the New Hampshire Cannabis Association. Mr. Egan is our guest this morning on Close Up. Thanks for being here.
Adam, thanks for having me.
So we hear it again and again. New Hampshire is behind the times on cannabis policy. The only state in New England, the live free or die state, not necessarily living up to its motto on this one. What's the hang-up? Why is this?
I think the hang-up is that while we know that cannabis supporters are out and vocal, I don't think the rest of the industries in the state have learned what the value could be, and they need to be more vocal. Could we see economic development for finance companies, insurance companies, construction companies, security companies, IT companies who would benefit from the rollout of cannabis facilities, dispensaries, manufacturing plants? Those are businesses that would generate revenue for the state, generate jobs, generate career paths. And I think that's an audience that has not been educated and has not been vocal. And when legislators and the governor begin to hear those folks more than the usual suspects, the pro-cannabis, Marijuana Policy Project, ACLU, they're all great people, but we need to make sure that we're getting the wide variety of the 80% of people in New Hampshire who say, I'm in favor of adult use recreational cannabis. When they're vocal, that will make the difference.
You've got that public support. How do you win the argument in Concord?
I think when you win an argument in Concord, I learned a lot in 4 years. I wasn't there long, and I may be back. That's not a surprise to you, probably, that all legislators love to return.
Right.
I think this is a good way for me to sort of use that knowledge and understand that explaining to legislators how this is going to help their constituency. In this bill, it was a bill that I had created. If I had been reelected, I would have offered it. I was very happy that majority leadership on both parties, Matt Wilhelm, Jason Osborne, decided that this bill was worthy to bring forward. In it is a majority of the revenue would go towards the unmet pension liabilities that the state has. So when you begin to tell legislators that they can give tax revenue back to communities, that they can help lower property taxes because towns are paying these unmet pension liabilities, and we should be paying pension liabilities for firemen and policemen and teachers. And when that was cut during the O'Brien administration, when he was a speaker, it's never returned, and towns have been hurting. And if we're now figuring out a way that new revenue, not new taxes, new revenue, this is stuff that has not been a profit center for the state before, if you can then arm legislators with, hey, I can actually bring revenue back to my towns and help them with their property tax issues, then they begin to sort of realize this is an opportunity that's economically sound.
How much revenue are we really talking about, though, especially now that all these other states, Canada, they've all done it? Numbers were tossed around years ago, like 40 million. It's not going to be that high, is it?
It probably won't be that high, but I think there's three areas where we can see revenue. Right. Vermont announced in their first month, they had $2.5 million in revenue. Right. So run that out for a year, that's $25–30 million. If 10% of that revenue is people from New Hampshire driving to Vermont, then it's probably double that of people driving from New Hampshire to Maine. And it's probably triple that of people in the larger population of the state driving down into Massachusetts. So could we see the return of revenue that's leaving the state? Our own residents are spending money in 3 other states. They don't need to. Could that be $20 million? Then add that we love to tout our second most popular industry is tourism. Now, I won't even say it's a presumption anymore. I used to say you could presume that folks that like to ski and snowboard and mountain bike and hike are interested in cannabis more than alcohol. I think it's actually proven now. The #1 customer base for cannabis is age 60 and above. So that's a tourism tool that could add revenue to our state. And then third, this localized economic development. When you build a grow facility, you're hiring a survey company, a construction company, soil testers, scientists, lab technicians, you're buying beakers, you're buying equipment, you're buying, building out facilities. So the revenue of if we were building a manufacturing plant or an auto plant. So those three different areas of revenue are unique because New Hampshire, with its tourism toehold, adds a complexity different than other states, I think.
You've had a lot of turnover in the state Senate, and it looks like you gained some votes. By my count, just, I guess if maybe generous here, looks like you got 12 already, just on the people who were there who've previously supported cannabis. Do you think the Senate passes legalization this year?
I hope the Senate passes legalization, and I don't mean that in a wishing. I hope that the 12 or 13 senators that have been pro, a few that have been on the fence on both sides, Republican and Democratic side, who have been sort of a casual no, will now see that there's more than just revenue. When we talked before about testing, the cannabinoid product has so much potential. Because cannabis has been on Schedule I as a narcotic in the federal government, we have done no NIH testing, we've done no NHTSA testing for under the influence. We researched the heck out of other plants to create products here in the United States, but we haven't done it with the cannabis plant. And it has so much potential for healthcare, anxiety, mental health care, which is a huge problem in the state. Maybe I'll counter the governor when he says, oh, we really can't focus on cannabis because we have this opioid problem. Most federal research now says that cannabis is actually an antidote for pain relief for opioids. Why wouldn't we be offering that as expanding the medicinal side? Let the medicinal industries play in the commercial side. And during the pandemic, the #1 fastest growing sales product in Massachusetts was cannabis. In New Hampshire, it was alcohol. Look at the issues that come from maybe the overindulgence of each. Alcohol the research is much worse. A quick comment that sort of how I would convince senators, when you look at, there's a 2019 NHTSA study, they looked at under the influence performance, right? No one should ever drive under the influence of anything. But people that drive under the influence of cannabis drive slower, take less chances, leave more space between cars. People under the influence of alcohol drive faster, take more chances, and leave less space between cars. So when you're trying to tell senators, what is this worth? It's not just economic, it's not just social, it's not just environmental. It's a way that we can begin to embrace something that the community wants and is mature enough now. It's 2023, and we're mature enough now to understand whether I can enjoy a glass of wine, a glass of beer, or a joint.
Former Representative Timothy Egan, thanks for joining us here on Close Up. We'll see you up there at the State House on this issue, I'm sure.
Adam, I appreciate the time. I appreciate the interest in this matter, and I'm always willing to share with you and the viewers my thoughts on this and other issues. So
Happy New Year as well.
Happy New Year.
All right, we'll